This is John Lauder, host of The Cheap Seats. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is McKenna Collins, host of Table Talk here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll check out my show, Table Talk, where we invite guests to discuss all things lifestyle, pop culture, and how to live your best life. Join us as we talk with today's movers and shakers, including celebrities, athletes, bloggers, and more. A new show comes out every other Tuesday at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Table Talk. And thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
In 2014, Germany shocked the world by putting together one of the most talented and most dominant rosters in soccer history.
Götze! It's Mario Götze!
Argentina, they were so close, yet couldn't put it together when it most mattered. Now you've got an Argentina team that's hungry for revenge.
Messi! And you never couldn't stop it!
But what about England?
Pass to Rooney. Only Sturridge in the middle. There he is! Goal!
Or France?
And Sissoko! They're running riot!
Or Spain?
It's broken for Fabregas. Now it's Iniesta. This is it. That's the goal.
All 32 teams in this tournament are vying for the opportunity to hoist the World Cup trophy.
Still Jorginho. Oh, he's done it.
If you want to be a part of the action at Russia 2018, you're going to need your soccer passport, the World Cup edition. At Public House Media, we are excited to launch a new soccer podcast called Your Soccer Passport World Cup Edition. Come alongside hosts and fans and guests from around the world as we bring you all the action from the 2018 FIFA World Cup. Because who knows, anything can happen in the FIFA World Cup.
What about that? It's John Brooks.
So come on, grab your soccer passport and join us for all the action from Russia 2018.
It's sensational.
Welcome to your Soccer Passport World Cup Edition, presented by Public House Media. I'm your host, Sanchez, and joining me from Peru, Luis Burranca. How you doing, Luis?
Hi, Ivan, once again. Good evening, and obviously, congratulations once again for the Mexico historic triumph against Germany.
Yeah, that was something incredible, and my heart goes out to you for the disappointment on the game on Saturday against Denmark. But those are some of the things we're going to cover today. We're going to go through all the groups and see what we like and what we didn't like. By the time of this
For sure.
And by the time of this recording, the last 4 teams will have already played. But we're recording this on a Monday night, so yeah.
Yeah, we're waiting for tomorrow's double duel date with Colombia and Japan and Poland against Senegal.
Yeah, so we can't predict the future, so we won't talk about those teams, but we'll talk about all the other ones. Let's get started with Group A. Saudi Arabia and Russia, 5-0 for the host. I think personally this is more just shows how bad Saudi Arabia was instead of how good Russia is.
Well, right now Saudi Arabia is the classical example for the Friday 13 guy. I don't know if you heard about this. This has nothing to do with soccer, but I don't know if you heard this news that came on today, the afternoon. The Saudi Arabian plane that was going on straight to Rostov got a little burning in one of the wings. They had to.
Oh yes,
an emergency land, and it couldn't get any worse. They lost 5-0 against Russia, and they couldn't make it on straight to their next city. That they're going to face one hell of a team such as Uruguay. Well, as a matter of fact, we're going to talk about it later. But I cannot deny what Russia did with Saudi Arabia. It was how I predicted. The Saudi Arabian team is very somehow kind of amateur. And they couldn't make it with a Russian team that, as one of our friends said, they took all the advantages from their local situation. They enjoyed the match. They shut us all our mouths because we all also were thinking that this match was gonna be somehow boring without any taste. But it was all the opposite. I think it was the most. It was the first match of the World Cup with more goals in history. I think so.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how Russia continues to do. They play tomorrow. Uruguay, who beat Egypt without Mo in the lineup and on 90th minute goal. I thought Uruguay struggled a bit to create as the game kept going on. Egypt were able to frustrate them. Uruguay was still the better team, but it took a last minute free kick. I think as the tournament continues, you're going to see a better Uruguay. Cavalli and Suarez aren't going to miss that many chances, and I think if I'm Russia, I'm going to be worried.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, in World Cup matches, in my opinion, I just saw Luis Suarez's worst World Cup match, making an exception of the famous biting to Giorgio Chiellini. This was physically the worst Luis Suarez match in World Cup situations. He had every single chance to make a goal to the Egyptian side, and he couldn't make it once again. So there was had many worries for the Uruguayan team because they are relying on a very young team, a very unexperimented team, and now they had to rely once again to the former veterans such as Carlos Sanchez or Cristian Cebolla Rodriguez for this match against Saudi Arabia. But that it's going to be once again, in my opinion, 3 more points to their pockets because let's face it, Uruguay, as far as despite they don't make them so very well against Egypt. Let's face it, Egypt is not Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia is not Egypt.
Yep, that's true. And then you have Mo Salah, who will be coming. They say he's going to come back, that he's going to play tomorrow. And
Yeah, he needs to come out there.
And they will need him if they hope to get a result. If you're Russia, do you play for the win or do you play for the draw after knowing you have a 5-goal cushion and knowing you still have to play Uruguay after that? Because Egypt has to win this game if they want to get out, and Russia doesn't really have to.
And the Egyptian coach Cooper was talking about something of the famous religious Ramadan situation that so many of their players didn't eat before the match, and this was somehow, in my opinion, a silly excuse from Cooper because not every they are always prepared for this kind of times where they don't eat too much and they still can play very well. Mo Salah wasn't eating also at the Champions League final, and he did a hell of a performance before the injury situation.
Yeah, that's true. So we'll see how they bounce back. Moving on, Group B, the first game in the morning. The first game, Morocco-Iran. Iran getting the goal at the very last minute, an own goal in the 95th minute. Own goal break. And do you see anything from either of these two teams that make you think after watching them, and then you watch the barn burner between Portugal and Spain that had everything? Do either of them have a chance, or is Portugal and Spain battling out now without?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I don't know. I won't talk about this match as an analytic guy, but more as a fan. In my opinion, that was the match that made mad many other fans around the world because of the names, because of the teams those names are playing in. Morocco was obviously favored against Iran. I'm not saying the Iranian team is an amateur team of Saudi Arabia. They have experience. They have experience at the World Cups, and they most of the times they get in. They did it 4 years ago. They did it this year. They did it back in 1998,
2006.
And 2006. So they know how to play this kind of matches. They know about it. So Iran took once again the historic side once again, through their side once again, and had a hell of a match against Morocco, which, as far as I'm concerned, they made mad a lot of people, because Morocco was obviously the favorite because of people like Mehdi Benatia or Akraf Hakimi. They were definitely very favorites in the predictions and in the bettings. So this was the first big shock to the bettings for the fans around the world.
Yeah, I was very disappointed in Morocco in the way they played, to be honest with you. I was expecting a little more. Like you said, I thought they would have a decent chance to make it out of the group. But so moving on to the other game from that group, it's Portugal and Spain. If you're Spain, you got scored on by free kick, you got scored on by PK, and you got scored on a keeper error. So do you come out happy or upset about the result, knowing that these goals were De Gea's not going to give up goals like that very often. You're most likely not going to get PK up very often either, and you're not going to have Ronaldo on the other side of a free kick very often. So is it something that Spain goes, well, some things just didn't go our way, but we can get better, or are these issues?
Taking aside all of those facts, that I like it or not, the first thing I did after that match was call my brother and tell him, please, dude, record that match. For me, in my opinion, that was the best match of the World Cup as far as I can see. And I'm not. This is just getting started. I just saw the perfect match between a team that is relying on one player like Cristiano Ronaldo against an entire team that they have worked in the collective section all the time, that their individualities are not they're not very kind of the first thing they need to work. They don't think about the heavy names because it's a team full of big names such as Piqué, such as Iniesta, such as Isco, such as Sergio Ramos. When they put together the Spanish shirt, the Spanish jersey, it's one team. It's a team that they don't have very individualities once again, and I saw it with the goals of Diego Costa or Nacho, which in my opinion was one of the second most amazing goal of the World Cup after Cristiano Ronaldo. That, let's face it, in this match he was some sort of divine thing. Let's face it, Portugal is a team full of humans, and he's some sort of a god next to them. He's the monster right now of the World Cup, and showing all his best against Spain, against the country that is feeding him. It's a shock. I wasn't rooting for Portugal or Spain. I was just enjoying the match. And in my opinion, that was the main reason I want to record this. It was the perfect example against one team, against one man and a team. So it's crazy how these two things can collide.
Yeah. So moving forward, I think one of the biggest problems Spain might have is their starting 11 will be solid. They're going to play well. They know what they're going to do. But because they switched coaches 36 hours before the game started, I think stuff like the substitute and the changes that he makes from game to game might be where Spain gets caught off guard. Is he making the right choices? Is he knowing to put the players in the power position that they need to do? Can he make the right adjustments? Because he's only been working with his team for less than a week still.
Yeah, no, I'm watching Euro making a great work in all of the lines. Spain couldn't get the victory just because Portugal had a gap with them called Cristiano Ronaldo. And once again, as I said, Spain is a very worked out team. I can see them in all the lines getting superior to many of their rivals. I can see getting them into the knockout stage on the first place.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Group C. The first Saturday was a long day. 4 games. I think in Peru the game started at 5 in the morning. Here in Oregon the game started at 3 in the morning, and so I was very tired by the time 2 o'clock the next day or later that day happened. But
I just saw the second half. I got up like at 6 o'clock that day, and I saw not very well friends. They got very annulled very easily by the Australian team, and I got some conclusions about that match. Neither Australia's easy stuff and France is not impossible to the rivals. France can lose to Peru and such as to Denmark, as Australia can get a win against Peru or against Denmark. It's crazy how this kind of matches in where the Goliath is coming with all his glory cannot make it that well against a little short guy such as Australia. That despite the loss, they play better. They were very very placed in all the sides they had. First of all, I truly like the match of this guy, Mili Jedinek, or this guy, the central forward. How what's his name? I forgot it. I forgot his name. But I saw a very disciplined Australian team against the France that was somehow in an excess of confidence. France in this occasion won it, but they didn't feel like they won it at all, because despite the fact that it's 3 points to the pocket, you get many questions about it. You start to say, dude, this Australian team wasn't that easy at all, and I cannot believe what can happen against Peru or against Denmark. That's my conclusion of the French team, because it's a sin to watch the other teams through the shoulders down.
yeah, they looked like France lacked ideas, especially in the final third in the attacking part. Their movements weren't quick enough. They didn't attack with precision. And I mean, we're going to talk about some of the other big teams so far this weekend who all struggled. At least they won, is a thing you can say compared to some of these other teams. But we're going to get to them as well. But I agree with you. You saw the way they played, and then you compare them to the way Brazil played, who might have not gotten the result, but they were creating chances. They just played much better, even though they drew Switzerland. And you looked at France, who kind of just squeaked it out, a PK, a goal off a deflection. It'll be interesting to see because, as you mentioned, they do have Peru and Denmark next, who played to a 1-0 win for Denmark, very close to the end. I'll let you take this. You are Peruvian. This is the first World Cup game you've seen your country play in. I thought, personally, they were the better team of the two. They created a lot of chances. They were unable to get it out of the way to put it in the net. I thought Guerrero, when he came on, was fantastic. He gave you guys the urgency. He was wrecking havoc for Denmark. I'll let you go from there. My question would be, why didn't Guerrero start?
Well, first of all, when the match recently just got started, I cried singing national anthem. as many of the players. Well, putting that fact aside, why Paulo Guerrero didn't got into this match first? Well, I said it before. I'm gonna say it again. Those are Ricardo Gareca's decisions. He thought that a team such as Denmark, that are obviously taller than the Peruvian players such as Edison Flores, Christian Cueva, Andre Carrillo, or Luis Advincula, uh, are not the typical matches that you can play, uh, giving the ball so far away to the central forward such as Paulo Guerrero and fight for it every single time against Andreas Christensen or Simon Jair, who are the central backs from Denmark, and obviously taller than Paulo Guerrero. He bet for the for the field game, for the floor game. He wanted to pass the ball more easy through the floor and not through the air. And when you take away Paulo Guerrero, you bet more for the floor game with Jefferson Farfan. He's more experienced with that, and with him we got some of the most important victories over the last year. Uh, Including those matches. There's the match against New Zealand, uh, that obviously they were taller than the Peruvian guys, but Peru bet for another good game through the floor and putting the ball all the paths away for the goal in the game.
Yeah. So tough. They have France next. What do you think? Some adjustments need to be made for Peru to get a result. Denmark plays Australia after that. Denmark with a good chance to get 6 points.
First of all, there is a doubt in Renato Tapia. Renato Tapia had a big collide against one of the Danish guys, and he had a cerebral concussion, which he said in the interviews. I don't remember nothing of the match. I cannot remember absolutely anything, and he didn't train with the team today, and there's a big there are big probabilities that he might not make it tomorrow into the tomorrow's trainings.
Okay. So yeah, that's a report from Peru. Um, what does Peru need to do to get a result for France? You saw France play. You saw Peru play. What do you think? What do you think the best chances are for them to get a result against France?
Well, if you get well, I'm not a magician or maybe a wizard, but I cannot I can see that many of such of the French game starts in the back line with and in the sides with Djibril Sidibé or such as guys more in the front, such as Antoine Griezmann or Thomas Lemar. They have such a great bench all together, and they bet for it every single time. You can put Antoine Griezmann on a side or maybe as a central forward. It's very unpredictable, the French game, in my opinion, and that's one of the things that scares me the most. Uh, you can see a French game with Kylian Mbappe in the right side, or such as in the middle, or Antoine Griezmann through the left and then to the middle. So that's the big question that all the side backs in Peru are questioning for. Who am I gonna know? Who am I gonna know? Because I don't think this is a match that a guy like Luis Advincula can play, or also Miguel Trauco, who has more offensive qualities. I, 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 if I was Gareca, I would bet for a more defensive team that can come from the back and get straight to Paulo Guerrero, which definitely is gonna be in the main lineup this Thursday.
Yeah. Good. Moving on, Group D, before we get to one of the biggest surprises between Argentina and Iceland, let's first touch Croatia and Nigeria. I don't know if it was just because it was the fourth game of the 4-game Saturday, or and I was just tired. But I didn't enjoy the Croatia Nigeria. I was expecting more, especially from Nigeria, and Croatia kind of seemed to walk through the game and were able to get a result. But I didn't see anything. I didn't see any fight from Nigeria.
You know, I don't want to be rude, but I don't think it wasn't my depression to that day because Peru just lost against Denmark, and I wasn't very happy at all.
Yes.
But I got the chance to see that match after Peru's loss, and I have to say I didn't need it to be sad or anything, just to get the conclusion that this was the worst match of the World Cup in my opinion. Croatia against Nigeria. It wasn't an all time, but the way Croatia make it through that victory wasn't very tasty at all. They are relying on such a very insipid game, or and it's very predictable sometimes. Slow game, slow passes. I truly believe that they can make it through the next stage, but they won't make it through the knockouts. It's not my taste of game as a South American guy.
Yeah, and they've already sent one of their forwards home for refusing to come into the game in the 90th minute. So there's some drama to watch out for them as well. With that, yeah, I was super disappointed in that game too. It was maybe.
No, with Croatia also. Croatia and Nigeria, I got disappointed in both.
Yeah, and that, especially with the attack that Nigeria has, all the players, they didn't give in. They had nothing. I don't know. It was disappointed. I was disappointed. The other game in that group was Argentina and Iceland, a 1-1 draw, a big shock for everybody who doesn't follow Iceland that much. This is their second draw in an opening game. They drew against Portugal in the Euros. Messi misses a PK. What was your take on the game? Because I thought for the most part, Argentina, if they play that game 10 times, Argentina probably wins it 8 times the way the game went. But I was very impressed with Iceland's discipline and their organization, and the keeper was fantastic. But yeah, this is kind of the Argentina that who we've been watching them in qualifying. Us who like watching the South American qualifying, they've been struggling, and this is a perfect example of that.
Yeah, definitely. And you want to know something? I don't want to be yellow press, but I just saw Thor Odinson in Birkir Bjarnarsson, who is one of the central midfielders in Iceland. I saw Thor putting aside all the Argentinian offensive guys such as Angel Di Maria or Maximiliano Mesa. This guy took them down easily with capital letters. For me, in my opinion, was one of the men of the match, and it was surprising because I didn't saw him too much of that good defensive game in him in the friendly matches. I don't know if you saw the match against Peru, but this guy didn't appear like he did last Saturday. And for the other fact, this was a match in where the most intelligent team got it better. Argentina was relying in one player, and Iceland was relying in the entire team. It wasn't a perfect match like Portugal and Spain, because those are very heavy teams, very heavy names. But Iceland is not a heavy name. but it's a team that depends more on the men than in the names, and that's a thing that Argentina does not have truly easily in their heads.
Yeah, and I think one of the interesting things when you make the Messi Ronaldo comparison is that Portugal were sitting back and they were looking to counter and they were spaced to break, and that's where Ronaldo excels at, especially when they're on the counter and they're going. This is different. Argentina had the ball; they had to break down a very collective and a very well organized team, and us. Iceland was very comfortable just sitting back and having them in front of them, and you saw it. They almost looked for Messi too much because they would pass it to him and they were hoping he would create something out of nothing. And when you have so much talent around him, the way he does with Argentina, with Di Maria, with El Kun Agüero, who had a fantastic goal, you need everybody to step up. And Messi missed the PK, and that's on him. But the rest of the team also needs to step up and create more chances.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree. And the talent that Argentina have right now, putting aside the veterans such as Kun Agüero or Gonzalo Higuain or Angel Di Maria, uh, the new blood that is coming right now from Argentina is not very convincing at all. I don't truly believe that guys like Christian Pavon or Nicolas Tagliafico or Maximiliano Mesa are already still through the major teams games, the big leagues in the international competition. They are very great in their clubs, in their teams, but they still don't get into that international competition that the Argentinian soccer game asks for.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, moving on, Group E. You had the morning game. Serbia beats Costa Rica on a fantastic free kick, and then Brazil got beat up and thrown around by Switzerland 1-1. What was your takeaway from both of those games?
Well, first of all, that was the most surprising thing of this group, Group E. First, the Serbian team with Alexander Kolarov, which in my opinion was the guy that if Serbia was about to get a goal, it was about to be from him. This guy plays very in the back, but when he gets up, he's a very surprising guy, and he has the personality and the leadership to take this one's this team that in the World Cup world it's a small team. Let's face it, but when you rely on people that has a very great sense of leadership, such as Kolarov, you can get big stuff. You can win big, and you you can surprise the entire world, and just relying on the men and not through the names. It happened with Iceland. Happened and it happened with Russia also.
Yeah, with Serbia, they seem like a team that's going to be hard. If they score on you and they're leading, they seem like a team that's going to be hard to break down, hard to get a goal and get back into the game. Not only Korov, who had a fantastic goal, you have Matic in the middle as well, who just bodies and roll and tries to dominate the game and tries to disrupt everything. It's a hard team to score against. Costa Rica, I was high on. I was hoping for something, especially support the Latino teams, but they are. It's going to be tough for them here on out after what I saw the other on Sunday morning.
Yeah, for sure. When you see a team like Brazil, you think, oh wow, this is the great candidate to win it all. They have a great bench. They have a great coach. They have a very main lineup. You get to see uh, their central forward, Gabriel Jesus. This guy is 19 years old, almost 20, and he's the main star, one of the main stars of Manchester City. Rely guy. It's Roberto Firmino, who is another star in Liverpool, and as a central forward also. So it's very convincing. It can convince you a lot that a team with such as very heavy names and with such a very young age, it's can start to make you some sort of illusions, and they all turned out with a Swiss team that somehow they managed to get into a big tie that surprised the entire world. I truly believe that Brazil got very overconfident through this match.
Yeah, and I thought I'm not too worried about Brazil, to be honest with you. Switzerland was always going to be tough. Their game plan was to make Brazil uncomfortable. If Brazil can adjust, because that's what other teams are going to do to them too. I thought they still created some good chances. They were on the forefront. They just missed a little bit of that extra. But I think that's something that they'll be able to figure out as the tournament goes on. But yeah, and I think they'll be able to still win the group based off of a goal differential. And especially when Switzerland against Costa Rica and Serbia they'll have to take the games to them, to Serbia and Costa Rica more, and that will open up those games more too. So Brazil, I'm not as worried as I am with, let's say, Argentina or the team we're about to talk to next in one of the biggest upsets, Mexico, Germany. Me personally, I mean, I was over the moon. I don't know how to describe the feelings of that game, but Mexico played almost a perfect match, in my opinion. They were so dangerous. They were dangerous on the counter. They knew what they wanted to do defensively. They forced Boateng to make most of the passes out the back. They were able to close down the midfielders and didn't allow them to have time, and pressured Germany's midfield. Germany was never able to break Mexico down and create clear-cut chances. Ochoa, the chances he did have, he was ready for it, and it was an incredible result. I mean, I could probably do a whole podcast about the game by myself, so I'm trying to keep it simple. But somebody who isn't so deep into it the way I am, what did you think of the game?
Well, first of all, I got a big flashback with this match. I don't know if you saw it 4 years. Well, obviously you saw it 4 years ago, but it happened the same thing with a team like Chile, and with Spain also. Spain came to the World Cup as the reigning defending champion, and Chile got in like this. Well, obviously known team, but also a humble team through those days, because right now they don't have the humble fame anymore. That could give a fight through them, and Mexico did somehow such as the same thing. They were the humble team. They were the not very talked about team, such as against Germany, obviously, because Mexico definitely has heavy names also, but they didn't have the big hype that Germany had, because they are 4-time world champions. It wasn't a David against Goliath situation, but it was a very amazing match where you can take down the giant and put his crown for a minute. Great match from Mexico against Germany, in my opinion. And let's face it, this Mexican generation is made for a big stuff right now. I think could this be the time for Mexico's national team already? Because the big goal is to get off the quarterfinals already. That's the main goal for the Mexican national team, and with this generation, I truly believe that with such as heavy names, they can make it into big situations.
Yeah, and I was before the game started, I was looking over the big picture. I was worried about the group, Sweden and Korea, because they both offer something different, and they both have some quality players or a very unique style that could frustrate Mexico. But then I saw the game today, and you thought the Croatia-Nigeria game was bad. I thought this was terrible. I was not a fan of this Sweden-South Korea game. South Korea was really disappointing in what I saw from them. They didn't create anything. Sweden was able to kind of frustrate them, but Sweden just lacks quality up top for goals. So if I'm Germany or Mexico, I think I'll be okay because from what I saw from Sweden and Korea today, I wasn't impressed.
Well, let's start to think how could this match be. Well, first of all, Swedish people will not like if they're hearing me right now. Won't like what I'm about to say right now. But how would it be that match if a guy like Zlatan Ibrahimovic was about to play this match? Obviously, the Swedish team would be a more likable team because of their style of play, because they can rely a lot of their central forward like Ibrahimovic. But when they took away Zlatan Ibrahimovic, they became a more defiant team. They defiant a very more defiant team. So they started to make more. They don't play too much anymore. They fight the best more than they play. That more than they play them. I don't know if you saw the attitude of this guy like Andreas Granit. This big central back guy is such like he looked like an ogre. He made this goal that the way he celebrated it gave me the chills right now because I'm talking about the guy that took down like 3 Peruvians in Gothenburg and I don't know. This guy has something that scares me a little. It's more defiant, as I said. That's another team that they don't rely on the names anymore. They rely more in the entire men that are composing this great squad.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll be in. There, so yeah, Sweden has Germany next. That's a huge game for both teams. If Sweden can pull off a result and upset, they're really pushing Germany to the break. Mexico has South Korea next. I think Mexico will be too quick and just have too much firepower for South Korea. And hopefully they can keep that momentum going from that historic win against Germany. And moving on to Group G, today we had Belgium play Panama. As we talked about Panama earlier, or you and I have talked about Panama before. Their first World Cup appearance, Belgium was just better than they were today. So, too much talent for a Panama team who held for as long as they could, but then once Belgium got going, Panama just didn't have an answer.
Well, as you said, Panama tried to handle it as far as they could, but let's face it, it wasn't a very high level competition team like Belgium. It was a matter of time that Belgium could take advantage of that momentum they had and put the 3 goals thanks to Romelu Lukaku and Dries Mertens. First of all, in my opinion, I want to make a point in this. Romelu Lukaku, in my opinion, he didn't have too many minutes 4 years ago in the World Cup in Brazil. They relied more on a guy like Origi, and not through him that this guy was supposed to be one of the greatest central forwards in the entire European competition. So this 2018 year can be his year. He made 2 goals already by himself, and it's only 1 goal away from Cristiano Ronaldo's score. And I can see Belgium making a great role in this World Cup. As we said, Belgium had to deal with the Panamanian goalkeeper, with Pinedo, But however, as we said once again for the third time, it was a matter of fact. It was a matter of time that Panama didn't couldn't handle it too much. Belgium is a very strong and competitive team that when they play together, they can shine all the way their individualities, like Kevin De Bruyne or Eden Hazard or even Romelu Lukaku or Dries Mertens are very heavy names. Is one of the main candidates to the World Cup. Some people don't agree with it. However, I truly believe that they are still the heavy team with the heavy names. And in this kind of tournaments, the team that has the most heavy names are the main candidates. Belgium, for me, is in my top four. So there's no reason that we can say that Belgium is not away from a I don't know semifinal situation.
Yeah, I agree. I think they have all the talent in the world. I think they're one of the top 5, 6 teams in the world. Um, I saw something. I saw something similar with the England Tunisia game, where England were the better team, but I think just the difference was England couldn't score, while Belgium were able to score. I didn't see a lot from Tunisia, who I think their only shot on goal was the penalty kick. So I think there are a lot of similarities between both games. What did you see of England?
Well, if I would get the chance to meet Raheem Sterling one day, I would ask him, where did you put your contact glasses that day in Volgograd? Because you didn't saw where was the goal that day. You had many chances all by yourself. This guy could have become the man of the match, and he blew it. Let's face it, Raheem Sterling blew this match for himself, not for the team, for himself. Harry Kane had to become the hero once again for the England national team, and this guy makes things look more simple than ever. Uh, this guy appears when all the, as here in Latin America we said, when the potatoes burn. This guy appears in the most critical time when it happened in the last Champions League against Juventus, and it happens once again in the World Cup situation. For me, Harry Kane is this guy that makes everything looking simple, and and he's the most different guy with the putting him with the others. I think he is the most different guy in the England national team ever since David Beckham in the 90s. He makes all the free kicks. He makes penalties all by himself. He's a goal scorer like anyone. He's a he's a killer as a central forward.
Yeah, Harry Kane is definitely a special player, and England will need him to be everything that he said. He's the captain. He's their main goal scorer. It's his stage and it's his tournament to take over if England wants to make it far. So during the time of this recording, it's a Monday night, but tomorrow we have Colombia, Japan, and Poland and Senegal. By the time this comes out, the games will have been played. But quickly, just so we can be really smart or not be really smart, who do you like about the two games tomorrow? I'm excited. Interested to see Colombia against a very disciplined team in Japan, and then see how Poland does, because Poland was the weakest of the eight teams in the first pot. That wasn't China, or I mean that wasn't Russia, and I'm interested to see Senegal, because I think Africa still has not gotten a point yet in the World Cup, and I believe besides Iran, Japan is the only is besides Iran, no Asian team has gotten a point either. So, what are you looking for? What do you expect from the games tomorrow?
Well, first of all, with the Colombia against Japan, let's remind Japan has a very great vendetta against Colombia for what happened 4 years ago. That great match of James Rodriguez. That, as a matter of fact, he might not be playing tomorrow. Put this on big letters. James Rodriguez maybe is not gonna play tomorrow against one of his favorite victims, Japan. He made 2 goals against them, and great goals, great amazing goals with in that match 4 years ago in Brazil. But as we said in some of the other programs, this Colombia is somehow different of the one that came 4 years ago to Brazil. Is more veteran, and they don't work too much of the talent that they used to cultivate like they did 4 years ago.
Yeah, so yeah, it's an interesting group. I agree with you about your take. Japan does have quality, especially up top, and they might be able to create something. But if Hamas does play and Colombia are at their full strength, I think they beat Japan. But Senegal is the team that I think could get a surprise tomorrow against Poland.
Yeah, for sure. And let's check out this match with Poland against Senegal. It's a great match of 2 stars colliding with each other. I think this is the first match of the that has a very apart match between the stars. Robert Lewandowski against Sadio Mane. That's the hype that it's selling this match into. The main stars colliding against each other, Lewandowski against Mane. So let's check out how this match is gonna be. Everyone is looking forward to that between these 2 guys battling each other for the who's gonna make more goals in this situation.
Yeah, totally agree. All right, so last thing, let's get your most disappointing team so far, and the team you've been surprised with the most.
The most disappointing team right now, I'm gonna say Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Oh, and Saudi Arabia. If you want to talk about disappointment, because they gave me illusions in the previous programs, I'm gonna say Nigeria because it's not an amateur team. They have big names. They have big guys that are playing into European competitions, and they don't still build this solid team that plays classic World Cup matches.
Yeah, I think why I like your Nigeria pick, and I'm not gonna say Saudi Arabia either because I was kind of expecting this from Saudi Arabia. I wasn't expecting this from Nigeria.
That's amateur right now, huh?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that from Nigeria though. So I like that answer for you. How about the team that surprised you the most?
The team that surprised me the most, obviously, definitely Iceland. Iceland surprised me 2 years ago at the Euro in France, and they are making it right now. It's a very big job to stop Lionel Messi and shot away 1 penalty kick. This Iceland team has, like in Mexico said, some cojones to stop a great line, a great Argentinian line that it's worked for years and years and years and years, and they don't still make it.
Yeah, for me, the most surprising, I'm going to make it easy for myself, is Mexico for the result yesterday. Most disappointed, I'm going to go with Germany. I thought they part of it was because how well Mexico played, but the team also struggled to break down the defense, couldn't create clear-cut opportunities. And then you talk about how they left someone like Sane from Man City off the roster when you needed somebody who could break down and try to take players on. They didn't have that. So for me, the biggest prize has been my country, Mexico, and then the biggest disappointment was Germany.
The biggest disappointment in Germany. Oh, definitely can be Germany because of world champions, and they cannot. But it's one match, obviously, right now.
Yeah, one match.
Germany can put away the difference aside for next match and check out how can they make it next season. Next match against
Sweden.
South Korea, right?
No, Sweden. They got Sweden next.
Oh, Sweden. My head is in another place. It's 12 o'clock almost.
Yeah, and we've been watching a lot of soccer the last couple of days. Well, Luis, thank you again for joining me. Big hug.
Once again, thank you very much. Also.
Yeah. So, Luis, where can people catch you?
You guys can watch me on Twitter and Luis Burranca, and obviously listen to my radio program show, Sensational with Deportivos, with the Spanish language. It's always on the digital. You can watch it on every single day at 7 p.m. CT time.
Wonderful. Thank you, Luis. Un grande abrazo, amigo.
Thank you very much.
I've been Ivan Sanchez Carrasco. You can catch me on vavel.com. You can catch my writing, my Twitter, Ivan Sanchez, at ISCARR23. Again, this has been your Soccer Passport World Cup edition, presented by Public House Media. Subscribe, like, comment, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for joining us.